So my name is Mary. I was diagnosed with Ehlers Danlos Syndrome just about 2.5 months ago. For the past 3 years, went to two separate doctors that basically made me feel like a nutcase because I was complaining about different parts of my body each time I came in, and things were not being found on MRIs or other things, but when they would ask me what my pain level was, and I would say a 10, I had several doctors as well as nurse practitioners say to me, if it was a level 10, then you'd be laying on the floor crying. And my background is I've been a preschool teacher for the past 18 years. And so I have a game face. So even when I'm really bad, I can pull off that I'm not that bad, which fools a lot of people. And finally, I saw a rheumatologist that really listened to me, which doesn't happen often. And I didn't put on my brave face, and I cried in the office, which is probably one of the first times I've ever done that. Because he kept telling me that it sounded like fibromyalgia. And not that I disagree with that, but that's what people were saying all along. And the type of debilitating condition that I was dealing with, I couldn't walk for weeks at a time. I would need a 4-hour nap after a shower. So I knew that was not who I was. I was very active, which you kind of have to be to chase kids. So I finally just cried in his office, and I was getting ready to just kind of be snubby with him as all the other doctors had been with me. And that's when he asked me, can you put your thumb on your wrist? So me being a smart aleck, I took my right thumb and put it on my left wrist and went, yeah. And where he proceeded to say, no, can you take your thumb and bend it to your wrist? And I was like, yeah, can't you? And he was like, no, show me. I did. And lo and behold, his eyes bugged out of his head, and he started typing frantically on the computer, which I was a little shocked. And he basically said, I think you may have Ehlers Danlos Syndrome. And he had asked me prior if anyone in my family had had it. And I actually have someone in my family that was adopted, and they suffer from it, but it is not a bloodline. So it's pretty unique. I finally was diagnosed at 38. So now I know why I caught everything under the sun, because everybody would say, why is your immune system so messed up? And now I guess because I was always fighting to walk or to run I played sports when I was younger. And, my healing took a very long time. I tore my ligament and muscles in my left knee, and it took 2 years. So I just recently hurt my right shoulder. I saved a kid from face planting on cement. And this was before I knew I even had this. And the doctor couldn't understand why I wasn't healing through PT and everything else. So it's been an adventure. Today's a bad day, as you can clearly see. I did make it to work. I worked a whole 3 hours. This Friday is actually my last time teaching. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. That is something I loved. And now I can't do it because I'm a liability, because I can't lift more than 4 pounds. So it's something that I'm struggling with right now. And trying to learn how to manage the pain. It also gets really frustrating when you're told to go see a pain management doctor and it takes months to get in. And people say they call you back, but they don't. And yet you're sitting every day trying to just get through hour by hour. The most positive, everybody tells you to be positive, and lucky enough, I have one of those personalities that I joke around, I laugh, and I try to see the best in everything. And sometimes it's really hard. And sometimes it really sucks. Yeah, and it's hard to stay positive when the pain takes over and lack of sleep. So anybody with only 2 hours sleep a night, it's kind of hard to be positive. You kind of get yourself in that mode. So I know it does a number on my husband. I feel like I'm not pulling my weight. I guess I'm my own worst enemy because I expect myself to be able to do the things that I did before. And from what I've read, as you get older, you start to see more and more signs. And so obviously I'm not going to be like I was when I was, 15, but I think I'm very happy to finally have a diagnosis and not have doctors look at me like I'm a complete nutcase and tell me that it's all in my head, which technically is kind of funny because EDS kind of is in your head and all throughout your body. So I'm glad that I know what I finally have. But I think it's a challenge because it is a type of disorder that I'm going to live with for the rest of my life, and there is no cure. And I know a lot of people have it a heck of a lot worse than I do. I think it's just, you go through those moments where you feel sorry for yourself. Most of the time, I push on through, and I make jokes about it, Today, actually, I had to help open a safety cabinet for one of the other teachers. And I was like, do you need Cripple Mary to come and help you? Super Cripple Mary coming. If it's something that's not heavy and I don't have to lift it, I'll be there to help, So, those things, I try to laugh at things. I try to find humor in, because it's a heck of a lot easier to laugh than it is to cry. But it's a challenge because I'm giving up my career. And I can only work for about 3 hours at a time. My lower back is insane. It actually shuts off my leg. So like if the pain starts and I lift my leg to take a step, I pretty much land on my face. I basically ripped up one complete knee on cement while walking the dog because I went to go take a step and that leg didn't want to cooperate. So, and damn, they were a new pair of jeans. But now it makes sense why I could feel all of the, when I went in for dental procedures, I could feel when they gave me the Novocaine and I'd say, oh, that's really hot. And they'd be like, what do you mean you can feel it? And so it's finally starting to make sense. Everything that happened up to now, it's like, aha, this is what it was all along, because basically everything that's happened to me kind of falls under that umbrella. So yeah, it's a brand new lifestyle, I guess. Yeah, each day is a brand new hairdo. Some days you have the energy to have the hairdo, and other days it ends up like this. So, yeah, no makeup. Barely got myself to work. So, yeah, I want to reach out and make connections with other people that have this disorder. Maybe get some ideas because, just knowing that that to have support of other people that know what I'm going through. People that are close to you I have a lot of support from friends and family, but I think that to kind of have somebody that you can just kind of say, like, my back, and then, like, oh yeah, so I think it's just camaraderie, I guess. Because sometimes it's hard to explain it to people that don't have it. If somebody puts like pressure on your body and you're not ready for it, my nerve endings are like on fire every day, and I feel really bad because my husband tries to come and like hold my shoulder or rub my arm, and I'm like, please don't do that. Like, it's hard. It's so hard because obviously, like, I want to hug people and stuff like that, So I'm hoping that other people see this, and this is so not like me to put a video out. So this is like, I'm very outgoing, but I'm not the video type, and I critique everything I do. Kind of a perfectionist. You'd never know it growing up by looking at my room. But I guess, yeah, it's, I just want to have a connection with other people that understand what's going on. And when you feel like you're completely losing your minds because you can't remember the name of something simple, like when I told a kid, I'm like, oh, can you go sit and the little kid looks at me and goes, chair? And I'm like, that's what it's called. Like it's, I was always it was very easygoing for me to talk in public. And it's becoming very challenging. And I think it's because I spend most of my time just trying to keep the pain at bay. So by the time I have to do those things, I'm like, what? And lack of sleep, like I said, doesn't help. So I'm going to end this now because I'm just going on and on and on. And I hope that people will get in touch and subscribe and give me some ideas that work for them. So thank you so much. Bye.